It's a great honor to bring in Texas Congressman, former Navy SEAL Dan Crenshaw. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Morning. Great to be with y'all.
Good to have you here. You talk a lot about snowflakes out there and the importance of the U.S. military bringing freedom around the world. There's a retired U.S. Army General, Sean McFarland, who says there's basically a crisis within the military that worries him, not just about the military, but about the future of America. Listen to this.
I just heard a statistic recently that about 80% of American kids consider themselves as just plain old Americans before they enter high school, and about two-thirds of them, about halfway through college, become hyphenated Americans. We remove those hyphens in the Army, in the military. You're a soldier. Next question. We all wear the same patch on our right shoulder, the American flag. Is it getting harder in the U.S. military to assimilate everybody and get everybody on the same plane for the same team? Yeah, it is. Identity politics is a cancer.
How do you react to that?
Well, I would agree with it. Luckily in the SEAL teams, for instance, I don't think I saw that as much. I think there's a very close-knit community there, no matter what your ethnicity or background. But it's certainly a problem in America at large. I mean, and what is identity politics? It's this temptation to divide us up into different groups, whether that be based on race or gender or some other category, and then pit those groups against each other and compete for power accordingly. The way America should be is that the only colors that matter are red, white, and blue, and that we compete according to our competency, that we compete according to a meritocracy, which is really a fundamental element of the military. And if you take that away from the military, then the general is absolutely right. The military will eventually fail, and our country at large will fail. He's absolutely right about identity politics.
Well, Congressman, how did we get to this point?
How do we get to this point? Geez, it's sort of this postmodern mentality, right? Where on college campuses now, especially, there's this real temptation to tear down everything that our country was built on, to tear down these Enlightenment ideals of equality. They have different ideas of what equality means, right? They think equality means egalitarianism. They think it means everybody should have the exact same thing, and that there's injustices all around them. But the reality is that we're supposed to be able to compete in a free society as free individuals, and part of that competition is a meritocracy, and that's what our country was founded on. And I think people are forgetting that.
Representative Crenshaw, you have been fighting for a fellow Navy SEAL, Eddie Gallagher. A letter was written. It states Chief Gallagher is a decorated war fighter who, like all service members, is entitled to the presumption of innocence while awaiting court-martial. We respectfully request that you review the Navy policies governing pretrial confinement for Chief Gallagher. What is this fight about for you? Why is it so passionate for you?
Well, it's about the understanding that in this country, people are innocent until proven guilty, and they should be treated as such. So the issues surrounding the Gallagher case are that, for one thing, the way he was arrested was really problematic. He was arrested while he was undergoing medical treatment, but they also raided his home, where they knew he was not present at. They raided his home. They took his kids outside. It was really unnecessary. Then they put him in solitary confinement. He hasn't had full access to the food he wants, the medical treatment he wants, full access to his legal counsel or his family, and he's being put in solitary confinement along with guilty criminals. This just doesn't seem like the proper way to treat somebody who's served our country for so long. We're not adjudicating whether he's innocent or guilty. Okay, we don't know. But what we do know is that in this country we are innocent until proven guilty. Let's let him have his day in court. Let's have an expedited process. Right now he's been in solitary confinement for almost 7 months.
Wow.
That's just not the way we treat people.
He's being held in the brig in Miramar in California. Tell us about the government case against him. What is it alleged that he did?
Well, they're alleging that during a deployment in Iraq, that he murdered an ISIS fighter who was in their custody. Now, there's various disputes between various witnesses who were there. Again, I don't know. That's not what we're adjudicating here. That we will leave that up to the jury to decide that. But again, what we do know is that his treatment from the time he was accused up until the actual court-martial should be a lot better than it is right now.
Yeah. What do you think about an enemy combatant? This was an enemy combatant, right? The ISIS fighter.
Yeah, it was. It was an enemy combatant. Essentially, there was close air support. The enemy combatant was terribly wounded, so they took the enemy combatant in and gave him medical attention. And and that is the point where some people are accusing him of killing the enemy combatant.
Well, the Navy told FoxNews.com they have not yet reviewed your letter from you and your colleagues. Obviously, we expect them to do that in the days ahead. Congressman, we appreciate you coming in.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for having me.